How's about the big 5-0? Hello, guys. Welcome to Tinkle Sports Talk, our second straight week with a significant episode, number 50.
Oh, yeah.
We went to the 1-year anniversary last week to the 50th this week, the 50th episode.
Crazy.
Yeah. Of course, we probably would have hit 50 sooner, but you know, hey, we had nothing to cover in the summer, so
Nope, not at all.
might as well just taking a break. But anyway, coming up on the show, we'll have the news about some interesting news out of baseball. You're gonna love this story, guys. I was laughing when I read the article, so that should tell you all you need to know. We got some NFL news regarding, of course, Big Ben. We're going to talk about his career with the Steelers. And then, of course, we're going to start things out with the rundown. Actually, I'll start it off. I think I let you start last Sunday because you were on vacation the week before, so...
Oh yeah, I think so. You're right.
Let's have at it. Let's start off with the Cowboys game. How about damn boys? Is it their year? When do they play this week? Okay, I'll stop picking on Cowboys fans because we're gonna lose viewers. Not really, probably, but anyway. Mike McCarthy, I'm sorry. This is why you didn't deserve a second shot as a head coach. You're not creative enough. And when you are, it's at the wrong point in the game to be creative. Mike McCarthy, you should have been fired this week. Consider yourself lucky you weren't. And Kellen Moore, this will put a damper.
Fire him early.
The only thing he's dangled over his head for the last few years is, oh, well, I won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, congrats. You want a cookie? Okay. It shows...
a cookie for pride.
Yeah, so... yeah, Mike McCarthy, you gotta go, man. And then Kellen Moore, if this says anything about Kellen Moore, it's that he's not ready for a head coaching job just yet.
Probably not.
I don't know whose call it was. I've seen Kellen Moore call offensive plays, so I'm going to assume it was him. But if I was Dak, why not audible out of that? I would rather throw an incomplete pass than QB sneak it. And don't even blame the ref for getting in the way. They knew he had to spot the ball. The ref did everything right, in my opinion. Of course, you know, he had to squeeze through the O-line.
They had to spot the ball and move it after the play moves forward.
So to Skip Bayless and to all those fans that are bitching and whining about the referee ruining the game for him, sorry. Like, this time you don't have a legitimate excuse. I will tell you a team who might just have a legitimate excuse for that, probably later in this rundown. But anyway, let's get on to the second point. Of course, yesterday's news. Cuse got their first real test, and I can't even tell you the result because we're not recording before the end of the game. They played at Duke on Saturday. Win or lose, it likely says a lot about whether they will be playing in March or staying home. Okay, because Duke is back to being a powerhouse.
I mean, it was only a matter of time. I hate to say it.
Might be their final year as a powerhouse because we don't know what the future holds beyond Coach K. Of course, this is Coach K's farewell tour.
I mean, it'd be something. He goes out with a banger and somehow wins it all this year. It wouldn't shock me.
Vegas books, man. Vegas books. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Hey, if there's any time to win a shit ton of money, it's to bet on the Duke, Blue Devils to win it all.
Can't do it in New York. Oh, wait. Sorry. I thought you were going to imply the game. I spoke way before I let you finish. So, but yeah. Maybe it
Wait,
is.
we can't do it in New York.
No, I figured you were gonna say your money on Duke against Syracuse, and I was about to say you can't bet on New York college teams. That's the one loophole in the law legalizing sports betting. But I digress from that because that's not the topic here. And then, of course,
No, no, I was saying like if you wanted to bet on any team to somehow win it all, it'd probably be the Duke Blue Devils.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, of course,
but
if you
Baylor.
could, well, probably it could probably be
Mm,
those two teams going up against each other in the NC National Championship game, but time will only tell. Who knows? I could be totally wrong.
The Big 12 is about to have a major say in this NCAA tournament. I'm just going to leave it right there. We'll talk about it more when we get closer to March Madness.
Right.
And then, of course, the third topic, Whistlegate. If you missed the Raiders and the Bengals game, you missed one of the most I wouldn't even say the worst call, but one of the most intriguing calls of probably all time in the playoffs. Probably bigger than the Tuck rule. Of course, Joe Burrow, he's running to get out of the pocket and throw the pass. The ball crosses out of bounds when he throws, and when the ball is in midair, the refs decided, let's blow it dead. And it's clear as day it was middle of the play that he blew it dead. They denied it.
Yeah, no,
Took
that's
it
what
to
I'm saying.
review. Touchdown stood. 3-7 points. And I've talked a lot about this when it happened to the Chargers against the Cowboys and especially against the Raiders a couple weeks ago. But, man, it's one of those plays, though, it might not have made a difference because it would have meant overtime. Okay? So you got to look at it as that play that really couldn't have changed the course of the game. I mean, look at it from 2 weeks ago. Chargers-Raiders, it was a 3-point deficit, the win. You take away those free 7 points, the Chargers would have won.
Well, yeah, of course.
There's the difference. But the Bengals get their first playoff win in our lifetimes, should I add.
Yeah,
We
no.
have never been alive to witness a Bengals playoff win. The last time that happened, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh, I actually got to pull this up now. But what I will say, it was a 50-50 call. This is stuff, they got to review the audio now, too. This is ridiculous. Where is it? Sorry, I'm searching my phone. Alright, last time the Bengals had won a playoff game, Michael Jordan had no rings. Okay?
Wow.
Michael Jordan had 0 rings. How's about this? Home Alone was the #1 movie at the time.
Crazy.
Madonna's Justify My Love was the #1 song. And then the Houston Oilers were the Bengals' opponents. And should I point out as well that George H.W. Bush was the president of the United States at that time.
Even crazier.
So, and then I saw something else. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was in its first season.
Wow.
But anyway, I'll let you.
Oh, I was gonna say, what is with the Raiders and controversy? I tell you, man, because the last time that they were actually ever really relevant to playoff, not really playoff run, but like I can't really remember their last playoff run because their last playoff run, Derek Carr was hurt and they also lost. But the thing is, like, they were also involved with the whole Tuck rule, situation. So I don't know. Raiders just don't have it, their way in the playoffs as of late. And I just don't understand why the rest are finding any way to not have the Raiders on in the playoffs at all as of late. It just makes you wonder,
Yeah.
like, does the NFL just have something against the Raiders where they can't move out of the
Well,
first round, or what?
I can tell you one thing. Rich Biscaccia deserves the head coaching job, regardless of that result.
Oh, I agree.
There's pictures, by the way. Before I speak on that, one other thing about the last time the Bengals won a playoff game. No text message was ever sent. So, for the first time ever, fans got to text
Yeah,
that the Bengals won a playoff game, and it wasn't on Madden NFL.
But if I wanted to say anything about the Raiders that I guess really doesn't have significance too much to this thing, but there's some rumors going out, and they could be true, they could be not. But I saw something that Jim Harbaugh could potentially be interested in getting the Raiders job if it was offered to him.
Again, I'm not buying anything about Jim Harbaugh until it actually happens because he's strung everybody along for the last 3 years. So I don't even want to give any input on that story.
No, I don't either, because honestly, I think that if I'm the Las Vegas Raiders and seeing the interim head coach of what he did and taking the team to the playoffs, the first interim head coach a long time to do that, I think he deserves the head coaching job.
Rich Biscaccia, though, he hand wrote letters to all 53 of his active players on the roster, thanking them for an incredible season. If that doesn't tell you a coach that's dedicated to his job and cares about his players, I don't know what does. Okay? I'm telling you, the Raiders are going to mess this one up because they just fired Mike Mayock. Big mistake there. That's already the signs because you get a new GM. Unless you have something that's currently working, generally they want to tear it apart and start their own thing. Okay? They want to be the ones to take credit for building their own thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's exactly what's going to happen in Vegas. More than likely. So, chances are Rich Biscaccia is going to get fired because this coach doesn't want the credit, or this GM doesn't want the credit of saying, hey, well, Mayock built this. Okay? Say what you want. Some GMs are very egotistical in that sense.
Oh, I know.
I mean, think about it. The second that Gettleman stepped down, Joe Judge got fired. Think about this as well. The second Ralph Wilson died, Doug Marrone opted out. And rest in peace to Ralph Wilson. I could go on and on with firings. I mean, these GMs want credit for stuff they built, not what their predecessor did.
Yeah, I know.
But I think one thing we should do is we should just put up a poll at this point. Put up the 3 biggest playoff blunders ever. Which one was... Actually, 4. Which one was the worst out of all of them? Okay. Tennessee's... what is it?
Motor City
Miracle.
Yeah.
Let's go with the Tuck rule as well. Then we'll add Whistlegate. And actually, let's add the Saints one as well. The DPI miss. Okay.
Yeah, the pass interference.
Let's put up a poll on Twitter, and then next week we can read the results of which one was the worst playoff blunder of all time.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
So let's do that. We're going to put that one out. Keep an eye on the social media link down below at Tinkle Sports, and watch out on Twitter for that poll. We'll, of course, have the results next Sunday. Jason, it's all you.
All right, on to my takeaways. This is a significant blow to a Chicago Bulls team who is currently one of the best teams in the East. Lonzo Ball to be out 68 weeks. He's going to have arthroscopic knee surgery on his left, out to 6 to 8 weeks. How much of an impact will this be to the Bulls? That's tough to tell. I mean, they still have DeMar DeRozan, Vucevic, and and also Alex Caruso. They have a supporting cast around them. I don't think it's going to be too much of a loss because they can still get things done. But Lonzo Ball has been a very impactful player ever since he's left the Lakers. He's been nothing but amazing. He's worked on his craft. He's worked on his shot. And I tell you what, I hate to say it, nothing against LeVar Ball, but I think he was kind of right about Lonzo Ball having some success in the NBA, even though I don't credit him as much because Lonzo Ball was a lot of the one of what he already knew. Well, this shot's not working. Something's not working here. Let me refine my game. Ever since he's refined his, he's been a basketball player, and hence why he was picked up by the Bulls in the first. So it's going to be a loss, and I think the Bulls suffer a little bit in that whole 2 months that he's going to be out. So if Alex Caruso can step up, I think the Bulls can still have some success. I just don't think that they'll be the top team in the East because of it.
As long as they can avoid the play-in, as long as they can avoid that, they should be good.
Yeah, and I think they will because, I mean, don't get me wrong, the East seems a lot better than, let's say, 10 years up to this point right now. I mean, you actually have, there's quite a bit of teams in the East that I can say are good this year. Then I could have said, 5 to 10 years ago.
The East is like the AFC up till about last week. Okay? If you look at football, the Eastern Conference in basketball is the equivalent of the AFC in football. Again, it's going to come down till at least the first round of the playoffs before we really find out who's the true contender out of the East.
But moving forward, I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting it to be a lot closer of a game in Buffalo, especially with temperatures in the negative, especially in the wind chill. But Buffalo came to play in their own background. And I tell you, it's tough to beat one team once, but to beat them twice in a row after that loss in Buffalo feels pretty good, especially when you beat said opponent the third time by over 30 points. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, been there, done it. They've played in the wild card round 3 years in a row. They acted like they just, next.
Thank you, next. Ariana Grande. No, just kidding.
Very much. Mac Jones, it's a game that he had to get out of the way. I think, I hate to say it, nothing against Mac Jones, but he just definitely looked like a rookie quarterback out there. He just didn't know what to do in the playoffs and just got annihilated.
Let me assure you, we talked about this yesterday on NFL Saturday. I had said, if you recall, I had said Allen versus Mahomes is going to be the new Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady. Now, of course, if you recall, in the Manning versus Brady years, we had Big Ben go to the Super Bowl. We had Joe Flacco go to the Super Bowl in that time and break the trend. There may be a year or two, I don't know if it's going to be Herbert, but one of them might trend to be the Big Ben in that situation where they break through. I'm betting more on Mac Jones than I am on Justin Herbert because I still don't like the ownership direction in LA. However, it is still a possibility and it can't be ruled out. But Mac Jones will get better, but you also got to look at it as he didn't have. I mean, look at the wide receivers. None of them would be number one on any given roster in the NFL.
Oh, no, not at all. That's what I was just going to say. I was just going to say that Mac Jones really hasn't had those top receivers like, say, Buffalo and Kansas City and Green Bay have. well, maybe not Green Bay, but
No, I wouldn't put
um,
Green Bay on that
I would say
list.
Kansas City, and Buffalo at least
Hmm.
are probably the two teams that at least have
And
like multiple
Cincy.
stars.
Cincy.
Yeah, Cincinnati has like a really good trio itself
Yep.
too. That's why when it came to my predictions on Saturday, it was like it's kind of tough to choose who I really want. That's why I say like it's going to be a
Mm,
battle between two good offenses, and that's why I said it's honestly it's going to be kind of the same thing here with Buffalo
mm.
and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Two good offenses going up against each other. Who's going to come up defensively that's going to have to put the stops? That's the real true question. I want to say Buffalo has a lot better of a defense because they're ranked in like almost ranked first in almost every single defensive
Yeah.
category.
Except
Kansas City,
rushing.
they've gotten it together as of late, but how much of that's going to happen in this game, and
Yeah.
how much of it was, well, only Kansas City's defense looked good because Pittsburgh is like,
Yeah.
like their offense just didn't show. There was just a lot of missed opportunities from Deontay Johnson. He had a lot of um, drops. You didn't really get Juju involved that much from what I was seeing. Of course, I stopped watching the game after a while as soon as Kansas City really started putting up points on
Yep. I do
Pittsburgh.
much if any of it.
So it's tough to tell. Like, is this a Kansas City team we're still going to see the rest of the year, or was it just that 1 week because they were playing Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh played so poorly? A lot of it was Pittsburgh playing poorly, or was it this Kansas City looking really good? It's tough to tell because Kansas City can look good against a really, really bad team. But if they were to do that against like a really good team, they seem to like they can do it, but like not to the same extreme as like a team like Pittsburgh, who
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have been in the playoffs in the first place. You know what I mean?
True. I mean, I think Indy would have been a better opponent. I think,
Yeah,
without
I
question,
definitely agree there.
you know, without question, Baltimore would have been.
Yeah, of
But,
course.
it is what it is. You can't change anything at this point.
Right,
Um,
of course.
what's going to be interesting is will Clyde Edwards-Helaire play? Because I think that's a big game changer right there. Because now, of course, the other question will be how many carries does McKinnon take away from Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Because you can't.
That's true.
I don't think you can bench the hot hand. I mean, sorry, Jason. Look back at what happened when Frank Reich led the Bills to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, let's flash back there. When you bench the hot hand, things don't go well. Okay. I mean, that's why when I know I shouldn't mention this name on the show because it's probably going to start a war, but Colin Kaepernick, when Colin Kaepernick got hot for the 49ers, they didn't bench him for Alex Smith when he came back, and look at where they got to, the Super Bowl. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't bench the hot hand. Running back is a different scenario, but the quarterback position, of course, is an entirely new beast. Okay.
Oh, I know.
That is game changing. Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, McKinnon, their change of pace more than it is game changing. Okay. So ultimately, it's going to be interesting. I see them more splitting carries if the Chiefs want to have any success. Rotate them in and out. But, Andy Reid's got his way of changing pace, so I don't think I'm going to worry too much about that.
Yeah, I know. Probably not. This one I kind of changed it around. This was like a pretty decently big takeaway. So Bill's assistant GM actually is now the new GM of the Giants. The big couple questions I have is Brian Dable or Leslie Frazier to go to the Giants because of it, and will they build a team like the current day Buffalo Bills?
Should I note that the odds in Vegas have gone up for Brian Dable to get the job since the hiring of what's the name? Oh, and by the way, the Giants literally just completed an interview as of Friday with Brian Dable. Boy, they wasted no time. They hit the ground running with Joe Schoen. So.
Oh, because I'm pretty sure he's going to have a big impact in the hiring of a new head coach.
Yeah, but here's what Mike Catalana, 13 Wham ABC's sports director, has said. Huge upgrade for the Giants to get Joe Schoen. He will be the 180 from Gettleman. Think Brandon Beane for Doug Whaley.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, Brandon Beane has been one hell of a GM for the Buffalo Bills. And if there's anybody you want to be learning under, it's Brandon Beane right now. So it all depends if Joe Schoen was writing the right kind of notes from Brandon Beane, or, was paying attention. Because if he can go in there and do like what Brandon Beane has done with the Buffalo Bills, I'm scared of the Giants. But if he's gonna say like be a Doug Whaley and absolutely freaking shit the bed, then it might just be the worst hire for the Giants ever. So it all depends. But who's to say they don't get Brian Dable and somehow I don't know, try to grab Leslie Frazier away from Buffalo being their defensive coordinator? I doubt that would happen, but weirder things have happened too.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think that's one area Joe Schoen's got to be very careful of approaching. Now, of course, his big task, and as much as it pains me to say it, because, of course, Tom Coughlin is, without question, a local hero here. He played basketball in Section 5 in Rochester. He went to school at Syracuse University. Played football. I believe he played basketball as well. So, of course, Tom Coughlin is highly respected here, I believe, in the Western New York region. But this team has struggled with their identity post-Tom Coughlin. It seems like they want to keep the Tom Coughlin era going. Now they can finally put it to rest. Again, it pained me to say it, but it's true. Sometimes you gotta let the past live in the past. And that's something that has plagued not just the Giants, but the NFC East in general. And now it's going to be interesting because, again, the Eagles are currently plagued with that because they are still stuck in the Andy Reid era. Okay? The football team, they're a lost cause. Let's just put it there. Until Dan Schneider sells the organization, we're not even going to mention anything about them. And then Jerry Jones is just an obstruction. He is just a hazard cone trying to cover up a whole crater, okay? It's just, like I said, you drive down that road. Okay, it's like a mini traffic cone trying to block a sinkhole at that point.
See, like, if the Giants can now
compare it, I might have just made no sense.
Dumpster fire to division champs like that.
Yeah, but
and not gonna lie, with what Brian Dable has done and the success of making Josh Allen into a bust, into a star, if he can do that with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, that's what I'm saying. Giants could somehow turn the wheels around. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is exactly the best guy in the world, but anything can happen. They can always go after somebody that they think could be better than Daniel Jones.
They could go after Trubisky. No. That's the other thing. Trubisky is going to be a hot commodity this offseason, as will Gardner Minshew. But I doubt they get him. No way that a divisional trade will happen. That is so rare.
No. Trubisky going to the Giants could make some sense because Brian Dable knows that he knows the offense and might work best in that
And the
sense. But
Giants.
I don't know what to tell.
And should I note that the Giants would avenge their trade that they traded one spot down? Okay. This will avenge all of that. Okay. I'm sorry. Actually, wait, that would be more a troll on the Chicago Bears, if anything. Saying you oh man, I just have to laugh at that. But anyway.
But now there might be a certain player that has probably seen his last days
Yeah.
in the NFL, and it's a sad day in history to think about it. But Big Ben,
Mm-hmm.
the Steelers
Well,
unfortunately lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card round. Big Ben, if this is the end, thank you for being such an amazing quarterback for 18 years. And to do it with one team, to win 2 championships with one team, I applaud it because it doesn't happen anymore. It really doesn't. I mean, for
oh,
instance, look at Tom
okay.
Brady. For instance, look at Peyton Manning. For instance, look at Drew Brees.
Hmm.
It doesn't happen anymore. It really doesn't. Where you see one player stay with this whole entire team and win
He
multiple
was.
championships.
Time may have changed. One thing didn't. Big Ben was the face of this franchise. Now
Mm-hmm.
the franchise has a hard task of replacing him, but of course you still got Mike Tomlin, who is probably one of, if not the best coach this organization has had. So I have faith in that. But of course, still big shoes to fill. Big Ben, without question, the face of the franchise. Um, you know, I will say he is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
he, the 2004 draft class, if this is the end, this draft class is going to go down in history as one of the greatest of all
Oh,
time at quarterback. I mean, I said it last year when Philip Rivers retired. I had said he may not have the rings to prove it, but he's probably the most successful quarterback out of that class. Eli had his 2 years of triumph against the greatest of all time.
right.
Okay. Big Ben had his 2 years of triumph as well. But he's also had a career that's been plagued by injuries in a way. He's
Mm-hmm.
been kind of the most fragile out of that. Now we won't go into the off the field antics here. I don't feel that's fair to gauge his career on that.
Yep.
But what I will say is, you know, Eli's going to get in. Eli's going
Oh,
to
yeah.
get in first ballot.
And he beat the New England Patriots
Yeah,
twice.
but that's not just why. Look at the last name. That's all you need to
Yeah,
know
that's what
about
I'm saying
why.
because he is
Yeah,
Manning. Yeah.
yeah, you cut out, so that's why I didn't hear that part.
Well,
But
well, the thing is that he should just be in alone anyway for beating the an undefeated team in the Super Bowl
yeah,
who
the
was
helmet
very
catch too.
well. Yeah.
But
So
you know,
that alone should get him in. But yes, I definitely 100% agree that 2004 um draft class is going to go down in history as one of the better quarterback
you
classes.
won't ever see that. And not to mention four pure quarterbacks. I mean, these guys couldn't run to save their lives. They were pocket passers all around. So,
Yeah.
truly the end of a dying breed in the NFL. In fact, I think Brady is the only true. Well, I mean, Mac Jones is in rare company, but Mac Jones has a little bit of running ability to him. He's not like
Yeah, if he
totally.
has to, he will.
What?
I said if he has to, he will.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not his first instinct, obviously.
Definitely not.
So this is a shame. This is really now if Big Ben retires. Now there's rumors Brady's retiring. I'm not buying that. That's the only thing that could keep Big Ben from being a first ballot. That's all I'm going to say. That could be the only thing that keeps him from first ballot. Again, I didn't want to talk about the off the field antics. That could potentially also hurt him. But I think more if Brady retires, that will hurt him.
Yeah,
So,
because then he might just not be first ballot. It's
yeah.
going to be tough because he's won 7 championships. Had such an amazing career.
Yeah.
But
we got maybe a week, maybe a few more until we find out about Tom Brady. And of course about Big Ben. Maybe he's just waiting for the season to end so he doesn't take from the playoffs. Smart, considering Adam Schefter has no boundaries along with Aaron Rodgers. So if that's the case, I applaud him. All right. I think it's time for our break here. When we come back, we're going to talk baseball and Tinkle on this. We'll be back with Tinkle Sports Talk in just a moment. Well, had to do it for the on-camera people, or the YouTube people. Yeah, the robot is not only a funny dance, the robot is now the umpire.
Crazy.
Okay, AAA baseball, minor league's highest level, will implement using a robot to make calls on strike zones. Let me pull it up here.
And you said the only team that is in the AAA that
there's only 10 teams.
Red Wings.
The Albuquerque Isotopes, the Charlotte Knights, El Paso Chihuahuas, Las Vegas Aviators, Oklahoma City Dodgers, Reno Aces, Round Rock Express, Sacramento River Cats, Salt Lake Bees, Sugarland Skeeters, and the Tacoma Rainiers. They will be the ones to implement that, of course. It'll be all remote controlled. Yeah, this could be fun to watch. Jason, what do you think here about the robot?
It sounds so idiotic. I don't even know why the heck they just thought that would be a good idea. I mean, yeah, it's going to be, remote controlled and all that other stuff. I just think they're just doing it for entertainment type of aspect. That's all it sounds like to me.
You know what though? Then there'll be no complaints when you can't say, oh, the ref or the ump is blind because the ump is a computer.
Yeah,
okay?
I know.
It'd be like telling Watson he's a dumbass and he beat Ken Jennings. Okay? He beat Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter on Jeopardy. Watson from IBM. Okay, so that'd be like calling Watson an idiot. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
Now you have an ump that you legitimately can't argue with because it literally is programmed that way. Okay? So, again, I like it because we all know how officiating has been in MLB. Mostly football. Look at this past weekend. Football's all you need to know about how bad some referees can be. I'm not saying they're all bad, but, I think essentially this is the ending of all endings in terms of arguments on balls and strikes, whatever.
Right.
So, yeah. It'll be funny when the robot has to eject somebody. What's going to happen then?
I know, right?
Someone's going to dump water on him.
Everybody gonna get in a fight with a robot?
Swing the bat at the robot. Hit the robot, win some candy. Like it's a piñata.
It just seems so weird.
Right.
Like, sure, I guess there's nothing I can go say that will change their minds about that anyway. So,
just when
all I can say is, we'll see what happens.
Just when you thought you've seen it all, they find new ways. I'm a little disappointed, though, going to the Red Wings game. I wanted to see the robot umpire and Milo the Bat Dog, just to see how he'd react to it. Not necessarily... Maybe we'd see a fight, but, I don't obviously condone fighting with animals, obviously.
Right.
It'd be funny to see how Milo the Bat Dog would react to that. The robotic ref. So, all right. Speaking of baseball, we're going to stick on that topic. As many of you know, baseball has been in a lockout for about a month or so now. The league essentially asked the union to drop 3 areas of discussion: earlier free agency for the players, salary arbitration after 2 years instead of 3, and changes to the revenue sharing plan. Essentially, the players want more money. They want to be able to cash in a little bit more instead of having the owners cash in and profit. Other issues that remain a priority include anti-tanking measures and fixing service time manipulation. So again, both the league and the Players Association still far apart in negotiations. But Jason, is there any faith that a deal can get done before March 31st, which is opening day? And we're almost 2 months away.
I think so. I mean, at least they have some kind of ground rules, play here that they can work off of. But it all of course the players are always going to want to negotiate more money. I mean, that's always seems to be the case with any major sports thing. But the thing is, aren't they already kind of sort of making a lot of money as it is anyway? Like they're signing some of the biggest contracts of any other sport. I mean,
if I recall one thing, most of the money is coming from television deals. Okay, look at the stands in baseball. Okay, until you really get to the summer, you really don't see full stands. It's
no, exactly.
I wouldn't say it's a dying sport. It absolutely isn't. But let's face it, you're not, and look at baseball ticket prices too. I mean, you could go to a game pre-pandemic for under $50 for 4 people.
Yeah.
More than likely you could. I think under 100 is more the safer thing to say.
Right. I think so.
But now, it's still pretty affordable. You're not making money on ticket revenues, maybe on ticket sales and whatnot, or maybe on merchandise sales and whatnot. But
right.
I don't know. See, you can't bend over backwards to please the players, okay? But I will admit the owners have been greedy. I mean, look at, again, Steinbrenner's worth billions. Okay, you're telling me these owners can't fork over a little bit more, a little bit more of a percentage than they currently are?
I think they probably can. I'm not saying that they can't. Just, I don't know. It's 2 years instead of 3 years is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I think what they should also negotiate is kind of like what the AAA,
pitch clock, right?
The pitch clock. Yeah. I think that's what they should negotiate as well. I think they should find any way to negotiate how to make the game faster in some sense.
Innovations in baseball are so hard to come by, okay? That's the one thing. And I agree with you. I would love to see the pitch clock in the major leagues. But innovations are just so hard to achieve in baseball because baseball is steeply enriched in its history. Okay, you
I know.
know, it's not like hockey where it could be stapled in history, but look at the results that you'd get. Okay, you'd have more head injuries. Same thing with football. Both of them have had to kind of change their ways to make the game safer. Baseball doesn't need to be safer because, let's face it, there are freak accidents. I'm
Right,
not going to
exactly.
discredit that. But again, the main issue in baseball's been the steroid crisis, and that's really been the big, outside of that, Pete Rose's gambling scandal. But of course, now sports betting is legal. But I mean, if
Mm,
that's the only scandals you've got on baseball, you can live on history, okay? And let's face it, baseball is the longest standing national sport as well. So that doesn't add or that doesn't solve the problem.
right,
So, but again, baseball is it's it's tricky to fix because you really can't, change a game that's been around for over 200 years in some cases.
right.
So, but again, I think the pitch clock would be a great start to speed up the game. I think that's a winnable thing right there because they should want to speed up the game. It's hard to, the attention span right now. Let's face it, people like us, our age group and younger, and again, this is where baseball needs to target is our age group, 18
Right.
to 49. That demographic is so important. I think I've mentioned it
'Cause,
multiple times. You have on No
yeah,
Final Bell.
yeah, we've touched that bases multiple different
Right.
times. That's the age group that you want to
But
target the most right now, especially in sports. And if
mhm.
MLB can't because the game is just
Yeah,
going on way too long, and they're it's going
but
3, 4, 5 hours.
but
Um,
but look at
if
the
we
bottom
lose,
part. Yeah, what I was going to say is look at the bottom part of that demographic. Look at the attention spans, and I will even argue in my own case, my attention span's not all there. Okay,
mm,
it's hard to go all in, and let's face it, when you're sitting there for 4 hours waiting for 9 innings to get finished, it's not
oh, I
good.
know.
Okay,
No, it's not.
if you're watching it on TV, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd fall asleep at that point. If the
And
game's
sometimes it's harder to watch it on TV than see it live.
yeah, that's why I love going to Red Wings games, and I can't wait to go this summer, of course.
Right. It would be
But
nice.
again, baseball's so steep on their history. That's another thing, though. Like I said, that's something the demographics can't change. Okay, is the history of the game, and there's again aspects you just can't change. So that's where I'll leave that, I guess, in terms of
Right.
the demographic. But we'll see. Of course, 2 months they've got to negotiate. Chances are it might be a shortened season. That's another thing I think they could potentially look into. But
Oh, the season, the season going forward.
I don't know,
That might
though.
be beneficial for them too, honestly.
I don't know.
Because over 100 something games is a little much.
I think having over 100's good, but I think, 150, 125 would be an ideal. More rest time, less injuries,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, and then you start late, like into April, into May, you'll get more ticket sales, you'll get more travel, you know. I don't know. Little things, little things. But anyway, let's get on to Tinkle on this. And of course, we have to pick on the Cowboys again. Dak Prescott, no timeouts left. Quarterback sneak, slides, and then tries to snap the ball. Doesn't even let the ref spot it before time runs out, and doesn't the clock expire. Dak even you should know if you can't trust Mike McCarthy, you just got to audible out of that. And for that, Bud, tinkle on this.
Yeah, Tinkle on this. Honestly, even with that play call, you should have knew you run out of bounds. You don't keep on. You don't run out the middle of the field. You run to the sidelines. Give yourself like 5, 6 seconds, and Hail Mary it. Try to get the touchdown
Just,
for.
well, yeah. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're fine. Instead of taking the slide and and causing that to happen, because clearly you're dumb. You
Yeah.
know, Dak has been to the playoffs before. You would think, okay, play to win, not play to be dumb. That's all on Dak Prescott in that sense. I don't. I mean, I get it. Yeah, maybe not have been the best play call, but it was still something that they get yardage. And if he knew that he had enough field and was paying attention to the time clock, which I know was probably in front of him, it just Dak Prescott wasn't using the best time management in the sense that he should have knew how much he had on time. He should have knew, okay, instead of running straight, let me go to the side there, and then see about potentially having a game plan to get a touchdown on the next play instead of running out of time where the official is going to have to just put his hand on the ball, run the clock goes to 0, and then you have no time afterwards.
See,
So a lot of that is just on Dak Prescott. So
yeah.
I'm more so say tinkle on this on Dak Prescott. And
Well,
maybe the Cowboys for the stupid ass play calling in that sense. You should be playing for the touchdown and the win, not playing to get freaking first down.
yeah, exactly. But the other thing I was going to add is the 49ers were playing in sideline defense, so that was also going to make it hard for Dak to get to the sidelines. But even then, he should have just thrown the ball away if nothing was open. So,
I know, I agree.
but shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's all we got, I believe, for this week's edition. Thank you again. I'm not going to go on drone on like we did last week, but I will say thank you again for helping us get to 1 year and now to 50 episodes. Thank you all. Continue
Here's
to share.
another shift.
Yeah. And next week we'll have another milestone. No, just kidding. We're done with milestones for a while. Again, look to Twitter. We will have some polls out. We probably will actually take your polls on the championship round games as well. And then, of course, keep your eyes out for any announcements on future episodes. Watch No Final Bell on Wednesday. We've got one more week until Out of Turn 4 returns.
Yes, you wanna watch his other show.
Yes.
You wanna watch my other show. You wanna give us support. I know you do.
Yes. Do you have the watch just dangling there? You will watch our show. Oh, yep, there it is. I'm gonna look away before.
Watch your show. No, I was kidding.
Yep. All right.
Or am I?
We'll see. But anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll see you very soon here on TSC. Until then, goodbye.